Thanks, Bob.
You know, in 2020, my state of Virginia hit a tragic milestone. Fatal drug overdoses hit an all-time high of 2,309. Fentanyl and its analogs caused or contributed to 71.8% of those deaths. Statistics for this year indicate that 2021 may surpass that heartbreaking number of overdose deaths. We know that fentanyl-related substances are contributing to the surge in overdose deaths, but under current law, their temporary placement in Schedule 1 expires in February. Our bill that we're introducing today would make that scheduling permanent. But our bill doesn't stop there. It streamlines research on fentanyl analogs so that we can better understand the effects of these substances. At a recent hearing of the Subcommittee on Health, we heard testimony that there could be as many as 4,800 fentanyl analogs. We have data with our labs on fewer than 30 of those analogs. In other words, fewer than 1% of them. Now, our bill makes this permanent that they're Schedule 1. But then it also has a component that I feel very strongly about that says we're going to research. We're going to find out what we can so that we can then figure out whether there are some analogs that may be beneficial. The FDA's witness testified that they had 25 that they had examined. NIH has examined a few others. And of those 25, there were a couple of the analogs they found that were inert. They had one that had potential, needs more research, because it blocks the mu-opioid receptor in the brain. And what that means is if we do the research, we keep it as a Schedule 1 until we find out that it has something positive. What that means is that that particular analog might actually block the receptors in the brain so that if somebody has gotten a hold of one of the other fentanyls that would cause a death, like Narcan, you might be able to put this in to the system and keep that person from dying. Now, you might say, well, why do we need to worry about this? There's only, you could list them as you find them to be dangerous. And the problem is that the Mexicans and the Chinese are cooking up these ingredients. And if we make a list, I think you mentioned this earlier, if we make a list and we only have certain items on the list, they're just going to find another analog that's just as deadly and just as powerful as the one that's already out there. Remember, we've looked at about 30. There's 4,800 of them. So what we need to do is we need to make this permanent. We need to make it clear that we're trying to protect lives in the United States. We need to make it clear that if you're bringing this stuff over and we catch you, you can't have the latest analog that you all have experimented with in your labs in Mexico and in China, and then bring that stuff in and think you're going to avoid the punishment of the American law. We need to do that. This is an extremely important bill. I'm really excited to be one of the leads on this because, one, we're protecting Americans, and two, we're promoting research. Because one of the things we've done in the past is we've put things on Schedule 1 and then we've not researched it. And there may be potential out there. It's got to be done carefully. It's got to be done and read the bill. It's got to be done in the way that we've set it up so we have the protections in there. But we may find something good as a part of the research. But until we find something good, it needs to be illegal. I'm now going to turn it over to our great whip, Steve Scalise, who's also a member of the Energy and Commerce Committee. Thanks, Steve.
Well, thank you.